Aging is a normal part of life, so why are we all being conditioned to fear it so much? Social media has put a huge emphasis on our age and more precisely about how our youthfulness correlates to our beauty. There are always new products and trends that are focused on anti-aging and keeping ourselves looking young and youthful, and while I do think that taking care of our skin is very important, I do also think that putting too much of an emphasis on anti-aging can lead to a lot of us feeling very insecure when we do inevitably see a lot of the signs of aging appearing on our skin. Gray hairs, wrinkles, sunspots, and saggy skin, and the list goes on. These are all just things that naturally come with aging, and they are things that we are all going to experience if we are lucky enough to make it that far. I think most of this fear of aging is really coming from, in our society, the signs of aging are not things that are typically considered to be attractive. Right now, there is definitely an emphasis on the perfect glass skin, no acne, no texture, being thin but curvy in all the right places, having perfect brows, long dark lashes, etc. Basically, a lot of things we typically see a lot of the times in our younger years, but things that don't always stick around as we age and get older, because, our bodies change over time. We age and change. I think that today our focus on beauty and staying young looking has been made even more prevalent with the use of social media. Every day when I go onto YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media platform it is, I'm always seeing people talking about the latest makeup product that is really enhancing their features and making them look more youthful, or the latest and greatest skincare product that is improving their skin, making their acne go away, tightening their wrinkles, whatever it is. Social media is really just reinforcing that we need these products to help us look a certain way. And while I don't think there's absolutely any problem with wearing makeup or trying new skincare products, because hey, I love makeup and skincare products myself, I do think it is way too easy to accidentally consume way too much of this content that is pushing these products towards us to fixing issues, particularly issues surrounding aging. Because there's so much of this content online that really promotes these beauty standards, I think it is so easy to accidentally consume so much of it that we then go home and look in the mirror at the end of the day and become very unhappy and insecure with what we see because we don't look like these influencers we see online, who a lot of the time these influencers are either very young themselves or maybe they have just, gotten some work done, which there's no problem with that. It's not fair to compare ourselves to people who have had work done. And of course, don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing wrong with people getting plastic surgery or Botox or fillers. If you have the money for it and you genuinely think it will make you more confident, live your best life, go for it, get the work done. But I also think that it's something that has become so normalized in our society at this point that we're starting to see a lot of young influencers in their early 20s, if not late teens, start to get things like preventative Botox because anti-aging has been such a heavily promoted concept. There is no reason a 20-year-old should be getting preventative Botox for wrinkles. I also think that starting things like preventative Botox and filler at such a young age can really lead to a lot of people overdoing it in the long run, and then just as they do get older and they get more Botox and more filler and more this and more that, a lot of the times it can lead to people looking actually a lot older than they actually are, or just looking very unnatural in some cases, which, hey, maybe that's what they like and that's what they're going for. And if that is, more power to you, live your best life. But oftentimes when people do get a lot of work done, it just doesn't look very natural. And I think a lot of the times it's very obvious and not my preferred look, to say the least. And speaking of fillers, it used to be very much thought that fillers, after a certain period of time, would be metabolized by the body and they would be dissolved and gone, at which point you should just go in and get them redone. However, in more recent times, we've come to learn that fillers don't always metabolize in the way that we once thought they did, and instead, they oftentimes just actually move to different parts of your body or different parts of your face, which can lead to something called called pillow face if you just keep repeatedly getting filler all the time. Basically, pillow face is just when you have gotten so much filler in various parts of your face over the years that your face is just full of filler to the point where you look like a pillow, essentially. Now, personally, I think I would just rather naturally age than have my face look like a pillow, but that's just me. Maybe some people are into this look because, you know, having a more full face can typically make you look more youthful. Although, I'm sorry, I would rather have wrinkles. I don't think pillow face is a good look if I'm just being totally honest. I think oftentimes social media and even more traditional forms of media really love to romanticize being young and youthful, and to a certain extent make it seem like after you hit a certain age, life is over and there's no fun in it anymore. And, you know, once you hit a certain age, life just starts going downhill, which is not at all how it works. There's so much more to life after your 20s, and there's way more to life than just how you look. But oftentimes people act like that's all there is and that life starts sucking after you hit 30, which is just a real shame that people think that way. Social media can also just be incredibly vain. If you look at TikTok or Instagram, there are people who have built incredibly huge followings purely off of being attractive. And a lot of the times, those very attractive people have actually built entire careers around just being attractive. And of course, if being attractive is your job and it's what's paying your bills, you are going to feel the pressure to stay looking young and youthful because your career depends on it, which I think is super unfortunate because you are going to age regardless. You are. Time goes by no matter what, so we're all gonna age. And I feel like that must just be an insane amount of pressure for these people, and I feel like there's just no way that can be healthy to have your career so dependent on your looks. But I mean, hey, I guess that's why we have people who do go overboard with things like filler and Botox and stuff, because they recognize that their careers are tied to how they look and they're willing to do whatever it takes to preserve their appearance, and sometimes it just doesn't always work out. We've even gotten to a point as a society where aging has been used as an insult. I myself have been live on Twitch, which, side note, if you ever want to hang out and chat with me live, follow me on Twitch. I stream there regularly, typically about 3 times a week, so come and hang out with me live sometimes and we could chat. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I've been live on Twitch before and I've had random people come into my stream and in my chat and say that I looked really rough for my age, which, one, I don't think is true, and two, I think is such a weird thing to say to another person. Also, I don't know how old that person was who tried to insult me in that way, but it's also so silly to use as an insult because one day, if that person is lucky enough, they will also get older and have the signs and appearance of age affect them, and they will also look old. So like, I don't know, it's not a very good insult. I've gotten a lot of bad insults, like weak attempts to hurt my feelings on Twitch over the years, and out of all of them, that is just like, come on bro, you're gonna get old too one day. Like, what's the point? I also need to acknowledge that, like, I'm 26 and there have definitely been times when I've looked in the mirror and I've noticed a new fine line on my face. And when I first noticed that a while ago, I was like, oh no, it's happening. I'm aging. This is it. I'm just trying to say that, like, I myself have been very much victim to this, like, internalized ageism. There have been other things I've noticed on my body that I've been unhappy with in terms of aging. I found my first gray hair just a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh no, it's happening. Again, I had the whole wrinkle issue all over again when I found my first gray hair. Or I've even seen small changes to my face happening over the previous couple years, and I've been like, oh no, it's continuing to happen. I'm continuing to age. But then I have to remember, Devin, that's how it works. We will continue to age and our appearance will continue to change for our entire lives. That is how it works. And it is honestly a privilege to live long enough to see the effects of time form on our skin. It really is. Not everyone gets the privilege of living long enough to form wrinkles or to form sunspots or gray hairs. A lot of people unfortunately don't make it that long. When we do see the effects of time on our skin, we should look at that and go, huh, I made it. I'm still here. Now that being said, I do think there are a lot of good, healthy ways that we can take care of our bodies that are proven to just naturally slow the visible signs of aging, and the number one way is to wear sunscreen. Sunscreen not only protects our skin from the damaging effects of the sun and therefore protects it from skin cancer, which I believe, I will double check, but I believe skin cancer is the number one most common form of cancer. But sunscreen can also help protect us from the skin damage we get from the sun, which causes visible signs of aging. That's where we see a lot of like sunspots come in, and wrinkles can be made worse by sun damage from the sun. So protecting your skin with sunscreen is just the number one way to prevent aging, but also just taking good care of yourself. I also think that having a good skincare routine in general with a cleanser, a moisturizer, and of course your final step being a sunscreen is a fantastic way to take care of your skin, because of course our skin is where most of the major signs of aging happen. And I really think that having this good skincare routine and just trying to take care of your skin is genuinely probably one of the best anti-aging solutions we have. Even though it's not really supposed to be an anti-aging solution, it's just supposed to be really basic self-care and taking care of our bodies. So we don't always need to go forward and get the Botox and the fillers to try to, stop aging, but just take care of your skin. Mainly protect it from the sun. That's where we gotta start. That is where a lot of aging comes from. So I think start with the basics and you'll probably be fine. I saw a video from Tiffany Ferg recently where she spoke about internalized ageism and also how we need more older content creators. And it was very insightful because she spoke a lot about how society makes us feel like our value as people really lessens as we age. She really went on to talk about how we need more older creators who help normalize the process of aging. We need more people to show us that it's not a super scary thing that we should be afraid of and trying to stop at all costs. We need more older people on our TikTok feeds and on YouTube instead of just scrolling through TikTok and having it be a constant feed of people in their early 20s with perfect wrinkle-free skin. Like, we need more representation in that age demographic, because I really do genuinely feel that seeing older people who are beautiful and thriving at older ages would really help lessen the fear that a lot of younger people have about aging. Because I think a lot of people genuinely feel like once they get to a certain point, once they get to a certain age and they do start developing those signs of aging, that they will then become less beautiful, but that is just absolutely not the case. You can be older and still be beautiful and thrive. Aging is a very natural part of life, and it is going to happen to all of us whether we like it or not. So it's something that we all just really need to accept and be able to handle and deal with, and we shouldn't have so much of a fear with it. And I really do think we should work on normalizing it as a society, because like I've said so many times in this video, we are all going to age, we are all going to get older and have the signs of time on our skin. It truly is a privilege to be able to live long enough to see the signs of time forming on your skin. It's not something to be ashamed of or be scared of happening. And it's also not something that we should let devalue us as humans. Overall, I really hope it is something that more of us are able to accept and move forward with. And I know it's something I will continue working on myself. So next time I look in the mirror and see a gray hair or find a new fine line forming on my skin, I'm not gonna freak out about it. I'm gonna go, hey, it's happening. I'm aging. And guess what? I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad I am lucky enough to be alive today to look in the mirror and see that gray hair or that fine line or whatever it is. So that's how I'm going to look at it, and I hope more of us can look at it that way as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, check out my Twitch channel if you want to hang out and we can have some of these chats live. I love talking to people live on Twitch. We play a lot of video games and overall just love having a fun time. So check me out over there, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!